Welcome back to Managing Your Business by the Numbers. Today we're diving into the top mistakes small businesses make, and more importantly, how you can avoid them. Stick around because the number one mistake we'll cover is the kind of thing that can bring a thriving business to its knees. And trust me, you don't want to miss that. Let's jump into the countdown. At number 7, we have avoiding technology or adopting the wrong tools. This mistake is like showing up to a Zoom call with your typewriter. You're not even in the right decade. Why it's 7? Well, technology is essential. Most business can recover from tech mistakes, unless your entire operation revolves around it. But don't let that fool you. This is like ignoring a slow leak in your roof, because it's just a few drops. The potential impact. This can range from small inefficiencies like wasting time with outdated tools to significant losses if you overspend on unused or incompatible software. Remember, tech mistakes don't just drain your wallet. They can sap employee morale too. It's surprisingly common. A lot of business treat tech upgrades like they're upgrading their wardrobe. We'll do it when the mood strikes. Spoiler alert, the mood never strikes. For example, buying an expensive software suite you don't need, or refusing to adopt a simple cost-saving tool like a project management app. Imagine equipping your sales team with flip phones in a world of smartphones. It's outdated, inefficient, and leaves them at a disadvantage. Imagine equipping your delivery drivers with maps from the 1980s. It's a surefire way to lose customers and packages. Even worse, consider a database software that no one on your team knows how to use. It's like having a Ferrari without a driver's license. To avoid this, assess your needs carefully. Involve your team in the decisions and calculate an ROI before investing. And for the love of efficiency, make sure the tech you're buying actually solves a problem you have, not a problem you think you might have in 2050. If you want to see more on this, watch one of my recent videos on this topic. Number 6 is lack of contingency planning. While it's not always top of mind, it becomes critical during emergencies. It's like physical fitness. It can seem unnecessary until you can't go 10 feet without your walker. And why it's number 6? You don't need a contingency plan every day. But when disaster strikes, it's like having a life jacket on a sinking ship. Except this life jacket also makes you look good in meetings. The potential financial impact is high. Imagine lost revenues, scrambling to replace a supplier, or suddenly finding out your emergency fund is just loose change in the break room couch. It's less common than the others, but when it happens, it's like realizing your safety net has a giant hole. The repercussions could be business disruptions, unhappy clients, and damage to your reputation. And trust me, rebuilding your reputation is harder than explaining why you were late to your own wedding. Think about a bakery without a backup plan for flour. One little supply chain hiccup, and suddenly you're offering airy croissants. Or imagine a retail store losing power during the holiday season and having no backup generator. It's a disaster that's both avoidable and regrettable. For avoidance, start small, create a financial cushion, identify alternative suppliers, and draft some basic contingency plans. Don't forget to revisit these plans regularly, because there's no point in a parachute that's still packed with mothballs. If you want to see more on this, watch a video I have on this topic. Cash Management Part 7, Cash Reserve and Contingency Planning. At number 5, we have focusing on the wrong metrics. Tracking the wrong numbers can lead to poor decisions. It's like driving with a GPS that's set to avoid highways when you're late for a meeting. And why it's 5th? It's not catastrophic, but it creates inefficiencies that hurt your bottom line. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. one misaligned metric at a time. The financial impact could be moderate. You could waste resources changing irrelevant goals, like celebrating website traffic without realizing your sales funnel is leaking worse than a sieve. The frequency, this is actually very common. Business owners love numbers, just not always the right ones. You might miss opportunities, fail to prioritize what truly matters, or waste time doing victory laps around meaningless data. Imagine bragging about 10,000 Instagram likes while your sales are tanking. A restaurant boasting about record foot traffic might not realize half the customers left because their orders were wrong. On the flip side, think about tracking net promoter scores for customer satisfaction. Useful, actionable, and relevant. To avoid this, identify metrics tied to your goals. A restaurant tracking customer wait times instead of just sales figures might realize happier diners are repeat customers. Make sure your team understands the purpose of each metric so everyone's on the same page. Number 4 is neglecting employee development. Your team is your greatest asset, and overlooking their growth is costly. It's like buying a Ferrari and forgetting to change the oil. And why it's number 4? Employees are the backbone of your business, and investing in them ensures long-term success. The financial impact could be moderate. The cost of hiring and training replacements adds up. Plus, disengaged employees can cost you in productivity. And this is pretty common, especially in businesses focused on day-to-day tasks. For repercussions, you'll face high turnover, talent gaps, and low morale. And good luck hitting your goals with a team that's already half packed for their next job. Skipping training sessions or failing to provide growth opportunities are prime examples. Imagine giving employees the same pep talk every year. We are all family here, while never promoting anyone. And let's be real, calling your employees family is the corporate equivalent of telling a prostitute you love her. It's awkward at best, one-sided and delusional at worst. Really, it's not real. On the flip side, companies that invest in their employees often reap the rewards. The business that implemented a mentorship program, they not only retained top talent, but saw a 20% boost in productivity. Invest in mentorship programs, clear career paths, and ongoing training. Show your team they matter, and they'll show your customers the same. At number 3, we have ignoring market trends or customer feedback. Newsflash, the market doesn't wait for you to catch up, and neither do your customers. And why it's third? Falling behind in trends is like running a marathon and stopping for a picnic. The financial impact could be high. You risk losing your relevance and your revenue. And this is actually pretty common, especially in industries that change faster than smartphone releases. For repercussions, it could be falling behind on trends or dismissing customer needs that can erode your business's credibility. It's hard to win customers back once they've walked out the door. A travel agency still advertising cruises without mentioning safety updates is a recipe for disaster and empty ships. Meanwhile, a small clothing brand pivoted to sustainable fabrics after listening to customer feedback and saw a 50% increase in sales. Stay informed. Act on customer feedback. It's free advice, not an insult. When in doubt, ask your customers what they want, and then deliver it. Use social media polls or focus groups to keep a pulse on trends. Number 2 is failing to communicate effectively. Miscommunication can paralyze your business. It's like speaking in riddles and expecting people to act on it. This mistake is the business equivalent of mumbling through a megaphone. Loud but incomprehensible. And why it's in second? Communication touches every part of your business. Fail here, and you're failing everywhere. The financial impact can be high, but indirect. Miscommunication leads to delays, mistakes, and a lot of side-eye from your team. And this is very common. Let's just say it's not uncommon for an email to turn into a novella. The repercussions can be confusion, reduced productivity, and strained relationships. Think about a manager giving half-baked instructions and then wondering why nothing gets done. Think email chains, where everyone replies all, but no one knows what's going on. It's like a digital game of telephone, but no one wins. Conversely, a company that implements a weekly team huddle could reduce communication by a dramatic percentage. An avoidance tip: adapt your communication style to the audience and follow up verbal conversations with written recaps. Clarity beats cleverness every single time. And here it is, the number one business mistake: poor financial planning and cash flow management. And why it's the biggest? Cash flow is your business's oxygen. No oxygen, no business. The financial impact is catastrophic. Businesses don't die from a lack of ambition. They die from a lack of cash. Catastrophic. It can quickly lead to insolvency. It's very common though, especially among small businesses. There could be insolvency, missed opportunities, damaged credibility, missed payrolls, lost opportunities, and creditors knocking at the door like it's Halloween. When the bills are piling up faster than the revenue, it's game over. Overspending, underestimating costs, or failing to forecast cash flows are just a few examples. Picture someone going on a shopping spree and then realizing payday is 2 weeks away. One small business I know expanded too quickly, adding inventory and hiring staff without calculating the upfront cash needs. They ended up borrowing at high interest rates just to keep the lights on. That was a costly mistake that could have been avoided with better forecasting. I know of cyclical businesses that regularly overlook their cash planning, and as a result, the owners have to put in more of their own personal money to keep the company afloat until the next busy season. They say they know planning is important, but they don't take the time to actually do it. And then they suffer. Use cash flow forecasts, stick to budgets, and seek financial advice when needed. Cash flow might not be glamorous, but it's what keeps the lights on. If you're interested, I created a playlist of videos on this very topic. Well, that wraps up our countdown of the top business mistakes and how to avoid them. From outdated tech to cash flow crises, these pitfalls are avoidable with the right mindset. If you found this helpful, subscribe and check out my other videos on financial management, employee performance, and more. Until then, have a great day.